You still living Dave? Yeah. He was a fire chief for years. Yeah. People always used to bitch because they drive the fire truck into the city. And when you park it up on the 911, they'll be like, why is the gate truck always here? Shouldn't do that.
Oh,
Should park in the back.
if it's park, it is designated parking spot in the front.
Doesn't fit that spot.
Well, I think that that's fit in any of those spots, but. That's all right.
All right, Bob, the floor is yours when you are ready.
I'm ready. What's the date? The 4th, right? Welcome to the December 4th, 2024 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. We start out with the basics, which is saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Quick housekeeping. If there's any emergencies, there's a couple of emergency exits on the other side of the atrium and either side of the boardroom that we're in. We start out with the meeting minutes. Oh, no, I'm sorry. A roll call. Thank you. Thank you, John. Start with me. Bob Pagum, present. John Miglerini, present. Beth Mossworth. Christian Chamberlain.
Here.
Thank you. Heather Robinson.
Here.
Timothy Harrington.
Present.
And Aaron Lehman.
Present.
Great. With that, can I get a motion for the board minutes?
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the meeting minutes for November 6th, 2024, I move to approve.
Second.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that,
I'm gonna let Aaron have that. Seconded by Aaron.
You go.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the minutes carry. Thank you. Now we have application ZBA 2024-147, last one of the year.
Oh, wow.
Please state your name and address loud into the microphone for the record.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Fred Shelley from BME Associates. Our office is at 10 Liftbridge Lane East in Fairport, New York, representing the applicant for this application, Cooper Vision Incorporated, who is also the owner of the property. The applicant is requesting relief from Town Code 240-3C1 to allow 4 proposed driveways, entrances and exits from a single street frontage, where 2 are allowed per code. The property is located at 180 Thruway Park Drive. It's located on the north side of Thruway Park Drive, and it's framed by the New York State Thruway as well. The Zoning Board of Appeals granted a variance on December 14th, 2021 to allow a 3rd driveway for this project, which was done and incorporated in the design for the building expansion, which took place since that time. Also with the building expansion project, that included a consolidation from 2 lots at the time into 1, and created a lot width of about, or basically a lot with a frontage of about 1,600 linear feet. During the construction phase, the applicant had observed benefits from separating, during the construction phase of the project, the applicant obtained approval to install this 4th driveway access as a temporary access through the town. The town approved it. And what that was for initially was to separate the employee traffic from the construction traffic. So it made sense for that. The town had approved that as well. Upon completion of the construction, the applicant did observe the benefits of having that additional entrance, because essentially what it did was it provided a direct access from that easterly parking lot to Thruway Park Drive without sending traffic around the front of the building where the main entrance is. So it also provides greater separation from the delivery vehicle and the employee traffic, and it reduces the congestion at the front of the building. The driveways at the building front serve the long, the 2 in the center serve the long parking lot site. It's a long single lane parking lot, double loaded parking lot, but most of that traffic will enter and exit from those 2 center lots. The driveway all the way to the west side of the site is the primary delivery truck access. However, at times it can happen where drivers are misguided, and that additional easterly driveway does provide an additional exit point without going across the front of the proposed or the existing building.
Great.
With that, if the variance is granted, the applicant will install manually operated gates for 2 of those access points. Those gates will be closed in evening hours during the week and then during the weekend, just to limit additional traffic into the site. The application information provides the detailed discussion on the 5 criteria that the board needs to consider in granting the proposed or the requested variance. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions to those 5 conditions or any additional questions that the board may have.
And those 5 conditions, are they the ones from the superintendent of highway, Craig Barber, or is that separate?
No.
Talk about
Our findings of fact.
No, those 5 conditions are, we discussed them in both our letter of intent and in the application. We
Gotcha.
did not receive those comments from the highway department, but we'd be happy to review those and work with the highway department to address any concerns that they may have.
Okay, so you're not aware of that. Right.
Want me to read it to 'em?
Okay, yeah, so I'll read it. So this is from Craig Barber, Superintendent of Highways. The following summarize my comments regarding the above listed application. They have to install curbing from Thruway Park Drive to the parking lot. The middle of the driveway can only be 22 feet wide because of the sewer manholes. 4 total. Sewer manholes need to be brought up to grade if the elevation of the ground is changed. And the entrance has to be 3 inches, have 3 inches of binder and 1 inches of top coat to be town code.
I don't see any concerns with addressing those comments.
Right.
And yeah, essentially what we'll do is if granted this easement, we'll coordinate with the town building department just to address these and prepare plans so that they can issue a permit.
Okay, so if approved, we'll just add that as a condition of the approval. So you said a temporary 4th entrance was approved by the town. How long ago was that?
That was during the construction phase. I believe that was in 2022 when they were during the construction.
So the intent was to probably to test it out to see if it made sense and then get approval to formalize it?
No, actually, so as part of the expansion, I'm going to step away from the mic. A lot of this parking lot was, the original parking lot ended here, however, they did reconstruct a good amount of this parking lot. So they lost an entrance, so the temporary was provided over there.
Oh, okay. I see.
And that, further than additional paving operations that happened in there, so when this one shut down, access was provided there or there. So they've just been juggling around those access points while they're painting themselves in the corners, so.
And then can you indicate where those 2 manual gates will go?
One manual gate will go this entrance. Temporary one, we'll call it, that we're hoping to maintain.
So will those be open during normal business hours? or-
Yes, that's correct.
Does Cooper Vision run 24 hours?
That's what I was gonna ask you.
I believe it's 3 shifts. It might be a full 24 hours.
You're just not at full capacity probably in the evening.
Yeah, evenings is definitely a much reduced shift, yes.
So which is why you guys would put the gates down.
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Oh,
I just want to have a few comments on the gates. I'd like to have that information brought to my department for fire safety issue. That was the only reason why that temporary entrance was put in during construction for fire access to get around the building.
yes,
There's
Oh,
a lot of construction equipment on the west side of that property. So,
okay.
and it does make sense to have it there. But I just want to have the information on the gates and,
Absolutely.
all right, thank you.
Any other questions from board members? Any questions from members of the audience?
I don't have anybody online, but I do have one clarification question for him, Bob. Fred, just because I couldn't hear you away from the microphone, is it the 2 middle entrances that are gated?
No,
No, I'm sorry. It would be the entrance directly across from Becker Road
Okay,
and the easterly most entrance.
got it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Stafford?
Mike Stafford, 32 Essex. My question or concern wasn't about the new entrance. It was more about the gates and the safety, actually, and the possible traffic issue, if they're closed during the day at any time. So that's a concern, traffic backing up if people are trying to turn in there if they're closed. So.
Understood.
oh, that is true.
Yes.
Sorry, thank you.
So,
That's why I asked for the information, just, you know, the location, how far
Right.
back off the right of way they're going to be, if there's going to be enough space for vehicles, if that happens to be out, you know, obviously if you have a tractor trailer pulling there, it's going to be an issue, but
and
maybe
I'm not-
ask for additional signage for tractor trailer entrance only at that western property entrance.
the other thing is putting two gates in, if somebody wants to drive in there, they
They're
got two other entrances comes through. So I don't really see was questioning why they
Need two versus
needed gates.
four?
No,
Or
needed any if anybody can drive in there.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so.
All right,
okay.
we'll ask.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Please join us again. What's that? Is it, but that's a good point. Kevin, is there a variance needed for the gates?
Long as it's outside the right of way, it would just be more of a fence. You know, it would not be
So
there's
it's
no
not an
variance
issue.
for it, no.
So it's not something we can really address anyways, but I am curious. Why only two gates or any at all?
Any at all? It was a request from the applicant, and it was primarily just to limit that access into the site. So with those gates closed, the main entrance will be closer to the main entrance to the building as well. And the open one will be closer to the main entrance, and then the additional one is for the truck deliveries on the west side of the site.
Okay,
They essentially, they just wanted to limit the access points.
okay. And again, that's something that'll be addressed with the.
So
Yeah.
I guess the question is, if they're trying to limit the access points, why don't you just close one of the access points like permanently? So there's no issues of traffic.
Daytime, they're all open, and it's in the evenings.
Right.
And I think it's truly just a security concern that the applicant has, that they want to limit
Okay.
those access points.
So it's more of a security concern. Okay.
All right. Any other questions from members of the audience? Okay, with that, we can close an application. And I just want to say, you did a great job presenting.
Thank you.
Thank you for being thorough for us.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to application number ZBA 2024-147 for area variance, I move to approve as follows. Whereas the zoning board has, one, duly advertised and held a public hearing. Two, has considered all relevant information. And three, has considered the potential benefit to the applicant versus the potential detriment to the neighborhood or community in relation to such variance. Now therefore be it resolved that the zoning board of appeals makes the following findings of fact. The variance will not result in an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties, as the street is industrial and has traffic volume that dictates the need for four entrances at such a large facility. The variance cannot be achieved by some other feasible alternative. The property width is substantial, and another entrance/exit is the only way to manage traffic safely. The variance requested is not substantial, as the property was previously 4 separate lots. This additional entrance is reasonable. The variance will not have a negative effect on physical or environmental conditions. This project does not add impermeable surface. The difficulty related to the variance was self-created because of the size of the facility as designed, but upgrading to 4 entrance exits is logical given the parcel size and traffic volume. And be it further resolved that based upon the above findings, the zoning board of appeals hereby approve the variance as presented. Be it further resolved that this approval shall be subject to the following conditions. That the 4 conditions stated by Superintendent of Highways Craig Barber regarding curbing, manhole covers, etc., need to be addressed by the applicant.
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And the motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good evening.
Have a good
And,
holiday.
and by the way, if you did not sign in when you got here, would you please make sure to sign in on the sheet still?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob, who opposed that, dear?
Nobody.
Oh, okay. You said nobody opposed. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, and we are closed. The meeting is closed at 7:14. Is there anything that you had to mention?
I have a question.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Was it about that application?
No, it